When we started working on the movie, we were really interested in the music at first. We're interested in the music called chiptunes that sort of originated from video game culture. Chiptunes is the kind of music that's made with older computers that actually contain a synthesizer. And they're usually 8-bit processor computers. They're older computers, Ataris, Commodore 64s. So pretty much any music from the 80s that was a part of a video game was chiptune.
You can emulate game sounds, and this was something that a lot of the musicians talked about, is that you can, through software, through Reason or whatever, you can get that 8-bit sort of blippy sound. But this is going back and actually using the hardware, and it's a self-contained package. So it's almost like MIDI, where you're writing a program, but the hardware to create the music is embedded in the same package. And the Game Boy is the best example of that because it's the most discrete example of that. It's all there. You can take that little software, that little cartridge that was programmed by Johan Kotlinski and Oliver Witkopf. There's a few different softwares, are the two biggest ones, but you can take that Game Boy, write your songs, walk into a club, plug it into a mini cable, through a mini cable into the sound system, and you can perform and fit it in your pocket. So I think that's really an important aspect of it, is it's really discrete and sort of self-contained.
Plus, there's also, at some point, there's this element of subversion, because either you have to be a really talented hacker / coder and be able to go back to that Commodore 64 or Atari and actually program it to make the music, or there is an act of subversion taking place earlier when a programmer like Johan Kotlinski writes a program that opens up a platform that's basically repurposed, because Game Boy is not for making music. Game Boy is for kids to play games. And this guy's like, well, I'm going to turn it into an instrument. So there's always this element of subversion of this sort of commercial, market-based economical structure.
It started as this sort of expose on this new musical scene, which was people repurposing old video game hardware to make music. And then that raised so many questions for us that we were able to find the answers in other forms of art that people were using the same technology. And so it goes from a very general history of video games all the way up to artists who are now creating their own worlds and their own environments, either through repurposing software through machinima or actually programming and coding their own video games, their own worlds.